I'm calling all the moms who want to learn, who want to grow, and be enriched as home educators. My name's Elise Thompson, and I'm the host of the 2026 Charlotte Mason Enrichment Conference. I'm here at the Global Learning Center, and that's this year's venue for our conference. Our theme this year is For the Love of Learning, nourishing the mother and strengthening the homes. Moms, it's so important that we take time out of our routine to be refreshed, to be renewed, and to be reminded of our calling as home educator. And that's exactly what this day is for, is to provide space for you to experience all those things. We're really excited because this year our keynote speaker is Karen Glass. Girl, if you've never heard Karen Glass speak before, you've got to make that a top priority because she's phenomenal. Not only is she phenomenal, we have some amazing breakout session presenters that are going to equip you in your season of home educating, but they're also going to provide space for you just to experience different classes for the love of learning. And so we're really excited for all that's to come for this year's conference. Our conference dates are July 17th and 18th. We're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we have in-person tickets and virtual tickets. So if Tulsa is too far from you, you can definitely join us online for the entirety of the conference. I look forward to seeing you at the conference, either virtually or in person. And let's just do it for the love of learning. Well, hello, and welcome to the Charlotte Mason Enrichment Podcast. I'm your host, Elise Thompson. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. We are in the middle of our series called Conference Chats. And in case you missed the memo, we're hosting our next Charlotte Mason Enrichment Conference this summer in July in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or you can attend virtually. And I thought it would just be a great opportunity to gather the presenters and to have each of them share on their session. And so today we are talking about crafting a mother's education book list. I'm very excited about this session, as I'm excited about all of them, but this one's going to be just really meaningful and special and fun because it's all centered around books. And if you are a Charlotte Mason educator, obviously you know that books is a really big part of our education journey, not just for our children, but for moms. And it's important that we are growing alongside of our children, that we're wrestling with ideas. And so having a special curated book list is just such a gift. And so I'm excited for Rachel Byrd, Sarah Logsdon, and Beth Howard to be the presenters for this session and my guest today. So welcome, ladies, to the podcast.
Hi.
Yay! Hello,
Hi,
hello.
Elise.
This is fun. This is my first time having more than one guest on the episode, and I'm excited that we just get to collaborate on this episode. And so why don't each of you just take a quick minute, introduce yourself, and just tell us kind of where you're at in your homeschooling journey. We'll start with Rachel.
Well, I am at the tail end of my homeschooling journey. I have two kids. Nathan is my oldest, and he is graduated. He will actually be a senior in college next year. So he's a junior this year. And then my daughter is a junior in high school this year and homeschool. So I have this year and next year with my daughter, and then who knows what next, but my homeschooling journey, I feel I'm at the tail end of it. So I've been homeschooling since the very beginning. I was actually homeschooled myself. And so it's been fun to see like the different ways it can be done. And yeah, so that's kind of where I am.
Awesome. What about you, Sarah?
Yeah, I've still got a ways to go. I have a 10-year-old. She's our youngest. And then I have a 14-year-old who will be in high school this next year. We have a 16-year-old who will be 17 soon and a senior. And then we also have a daughter in college. So we've been doing this a while and still have, a ways to go.
That's exciting. That's wonderful.
Yes, it
Beth, what
is.
about you?
I have a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old. So I'm getting ready to start, like, in Colorado. Middle school starts in 7th grade. So we are entering 7th grade, and I have a first grader.
Oh,
It's so fun. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So, one thing that we realized before we started recording is that all three of you guys in your former life were school teachers. And so that is such a fun thing to know that, you guys did that professionally and now I guess you still do it professionally. You just may not receive compensation for it. Yeah, you all still love teaching and learning, and I think that's so great. So I would love to know from whoever wants to answer, like when maybe there was a moment for you when you realized that like, hey, I can't just show up and not, have engaged with living ideas like I'm asking my kids to do and realizing that like, your educational journey doesn't like really ever stop.
I can start.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
think
great.
So I think every teacher has this unique desire to learn. Like, you don't opt to go back into school if you don't really, really love books and learning. And so, like, my favorite class in college was kid literature. Like, we read books, like middle school novels, and then we wrote little. I now see it as like we wrote narrations on
Mhm.
index cards so we could file them away in our little library. It's the best. Um, so even in the classroom, like, I loved engaging with my kids on what they were interested in, and they would like ask me like, Miss Grimm, when I was Miss Grimm, have you read this book? Have you heard about this? I was like, no, let me read that. So when I was started homeschooling my daughter, I reread all of her books because I was enthusiastic and I wanted to know, like, what are we getting ourselves into? And then that kind of spiraled. And when I look back on even like photos I was taking, it was like, oh, I tried reading The Princess and the Goblin to like my 2-year-old because I found it and I was like, this would be fun to do. Um, so I think it's always just kind of been there, like this love of engaging with text and with ideas. Um, the nice thing is now that I'm a homeschooling mom, it's like I can do that, just whatever I'm interested in and like do read cool things and like bring my kids to. Like, okay, guys, let's read this new fun thing.
Yeah, that's exciting. That is so funny that you tried to read Princess and Goblin to your 2-year-old. You know what? You were exposing her to great, language and things.
Her vocabulary was excellent, I'm sure.
Oh, that's so great. Sarah, what about for you? Like when did you realize that you needed to keep plowing along in your own personal educational journey?
yeah. I've always been a reader, so I think if you're a reader, you're somebody who's always wanting to learn. I think there are few moments in homeschooling when the kids would reach a new level that I would realize, oh, I have to stretch myself a little bit more. Moving into middle school was a little bit of that, like, oh, keeping ahead of their reading gets a lot harder at that point. And then again into high school. But also as they get older, the things you're reading with them or that you're reading because they're reading it become things I would just maybe want to read myself too. They're more adult kind of level things. So it's been fun just to get to grow as my kids are growing and read new things. I think I felt it with nature study stuff a lot when they were little, like
Mhm.
walking around and they would want to know something or we would notice a tree. And I had not listened to my mom enough. She knew all the trees, And so just knowing like, hey, this is something I'm going to have to lock into more and learn more about.
Yeah. No, that's so good. That is so good. And how do you feel like, your own personal reading life has affected the atmosphere of your own home? Rachel, I'll start with you on that one.
Well, I think I was thinking about this earlier when you sent us the question, and I really think that the ideas that I get excited about, that I'm reading about, that I really love, um, they just they give me things to talk about and to tell my kids about and share with my kids that I think that's how it changes the atmosphere of your home. It's like, oh, mom's finding really cool ideas, or she discovered that. And because she's reading on her own, she has her own, book or topic that she's looking at. And that's how she's learning about it. She's going and, reading a book about it. And
Mm.
so I think that's probably the biggest way that it's affected our like my own reading affecting our atmosphere. Just having those ideas and having I think it makes you a more interesting person when you have something cool and neat
Mhm.
to share. And
Yeah.
then, usually it's something that your kids kind of want to listen to, which is great.
The fact that they want to listen to mom, will you believe
Right.
that?
Yeah.
Beth, what about you? How has, your own reading life affected the atmosphere in your home?
I think in our home, books became the default from a really young age because of my reading life. So
Mm.
I had a moment of frustration a few weeks ago where I looked around the house. I'm like, oh my gosh, there are books everywhere. Like, please put your book away. And then I looked at like my own little piles of books spread throughout the house. I was like, oh yeah, that's where they're getting it from. But like at breakfast, my son, who is in the process of learning how to read, he's like an emergent reader. He brings a book to the table, and he will sit down with it and like flip through the pictures or kind of pick out a couple words. And then my daughter will come to the breakfast table and like she's got a book and there's my book like near my cup of coffee. It's like, oh, from a very young age, they've just seen like books
Mm,
are, it's not something you engage with because someone is telling you to. Like, this is something that is enjoyable and you can approach it enthusiastically because that's what mom's doing.
yeah. Wow. That's so fun to recognize, it's like, oh, they're getting it,
Yeah.
like that's reading. You made me think and laugh. I went into my daughter's bathroom today and there was like books all on the floor and I was so frustrated because I like slipped on, but I'm like, she's getting it. Like she's reading on her own. She's an emerging reader too. So it's like, oh, it's
Yes.
happening. It's happening.
I
What an
know.
exciting thing to
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
mm,
we have
yeah.
them like left in the car and they're everywhere. My son tucked a book in his backpack to go skiing because he has seen me like bring it when we take breaks in our ski trips or, I need to take a break. Usually it's me. Like I pull a book out to read my book on the bench and he's starting to do the same. So it's just really sweet to see how that like spreads.
Yeah. That is so exciting. So, so exciting. Okay, so I want Rachel to share just kind of how we came to this idea of having a session that's centered all just around talking about books and for moms who come to the conference to be able to walk away with books book suggestions. That's one thing that I just love anytime I'm, with other moms, whether it's at a retreat or we're just, talking about doing a book study or whatever, inadvertently someone's going to mention a book and it's like, all right, to like jot that down in my phone so that I can go back and look at it later. And it's just like those are the best books. Like I remember Beth recommended a book to me and I remember listening to it and going, oh my gosh, this was the best book. Like a good read. It was a very like thought provoking read, but it's like, man, the best suggestions of books that I've read or listened to have been from people that I've rubbed shoulders with. And so, Rachel, can you just kind of tell how the evolution of this session came to be and kind of what we want moms to get from it?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I think that it started with Sarah and I went to a literature conference at a university last fall, and it was so fun to go. And we were sitting. I had been invited to be on a panel actually of teachers, and so like we got to go, and it was free. So we drove there. We took our high schoolers with us, but we got to sit in sessions, and it was so fun to just hear them talk about all the books and why you read the books. Like to be reminded, like this is why we read books, and this is what this book gave from to me at this part of my life, or it spoke to me. I might have read it at one time, and then later during a hard time in life or something, the ideas in this book came back to me. And people, it was a very laid back session. And so people were kind of talking about different books that they had read. And so I feel like I came away with this long list of books like, oh, that's really cool. And it was nice because you felt like these people had some similar ways of categorizing books, maybe. It was like, and just like we would have at the conference. These are homeschooling moms. They have kind of that Charlotte Mason flair. And there's going to be a ton of diversity, but still, you kind of have that basic level of, I don't know, what's the word for sameness? I feel like this is what I'm doing constantly now. What's the word for? Uh, but you have things that you will love together, right?
Yeah.
So I think when they come, for me, I hope that when a mom comes into the session, it's just going to be a fun time that they can get book ideas, they can hear about different books, and they can just remember um, how much they love books and hopefully walk away, maybe even put a book or two, on hold from their phone, to say, oh, I really want to read this before the school year starts. And then, yeah, so that was what I had just put, like, that we hope that it was a time for moms kind of just to be able to fully enjoy that love of reading, the love of books, and get to do what we love to do, which is talk about what we love. So,
Yeah. Sarah, what are you hoping that people will take away from this session?
Oh, I think the same thing in a lot of ways, like some fun new ideas. And I think also I was thinking about just how important community has been to me in reading as a mom, like to have other moms to talk to, other women. I think as a kid, I read a lot, but I kind of read solitarily, like alone. There wasn't a lot of other people in my life that were like reading these books that I could talk about with. So it's been such a joy to like have that in my adulthood. And so hoping people can also just connect and make that part of their mom culture together. And also to feel encouraged that you can find it even in seasons or school years that are really hard. Like I was telling them before we started, like this has been a harder school year for our family in a lot of ways. And so reading time has felt really hard. Like it's felt like a lot of work sometimes to carve out pieces. But even those little bits of time do add up over a year. So just to feel encouraged that even if you're, in a season with babies or whatever else is going on, like it still matters and it's still worth it.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, that's awesome. So, Beth, what do you feel like makes this session a little different? I think Sarah and Rachel have hit on it, but what do you feel like will make this session different than just, say, finding a book list online? Because there's like tons of them. Like you and I probably have book lists that we've created to help other people. So, what do you feel like it's going to be, make it different to just, Google and find a book list versus going to a class, a session, and collaborating with other people about that same topic?
Yeah, I think one thing you miss out on a book list is hearing the why behind a, the reason a book has been recommended.
Yes.
Or kind of getting this like tailored to recommendation. So sometimes, like Sarah's saying, her having a hard school year and reading has felt really hard this year. And I guarantee there's a woman in there who could say, yeah, when I was having a really hard year, this book was a gift to me. This was a light to
Mhm.
me. So having women come together and say, I'm really struggling with like nonfiction or this thing in my life, and somebody else saying, oh, you know what? I loved this particular fairy tale. And while it's not a self help book, like it's probably going to give you this living idea. Or even when one of us recommends a book, we can say, actually, this is a book I think about all of the time. And you're not going to find it on a Charlotte Mason list, but like this book pops into my brain and I just like come back to it often because
Mm.
of whatever reason.
Yeah.
And you don't get that with a book list.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like the deeper whys of, why somebody's really enjoyed that book, really connected with it, why
Yeah.
it's something special to them. That's so good. So, what are some categories that you guys feel like are going to be included or should be included in, a mother's education list that keeps them well rounded?
I mean, there's always the hard hitting, like your stiff reads, your novels, all of that. Like having a classic in rotation is really good. Having a theology book and your Bible are always really good. I would love if more Charlotte Mason moms could talk a little bit about like what are some of our armchair reads or our adult twaddle. Like maybe it's not quite twaddle, but it's just like that little candy that you get
Yeah.
sometimes sprinkled in
Yeah.
that is still wholesome and wonderful and is going to inspire and cause you to think.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not like your dense read.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's confess, ladies. What do we got?
uh, I mean, I read Emma M. Lyon, which is not, I don't think it's twaddle, but I love it. I
Oh,
read it.
that's on my like to be read list. Everybody's really talking about that one being a great one.
It's great. But it's like an armchair read. You can just relax into it at the end of a long day, and it's not like over the top.
Nice. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to start that. That's on my to be read list. So I'll confess next. Sarah, Rachel, I don't know if you guys have them, but I am listening to Mrs. Polyfax. I
Oh,
think the lady from our community mentioned that series, and I hadn't listened to any of I like to listen to him. I hadn't listened to any of them this year, but I started one a couple days ago, and my earbuds have or my headphones have been on. Every time I can find a spare minute, I am listening to that book because it's just
They are so fun.
they're just
They
So
are.
fun.
I like them too. Yay, Miss Polyfax.
okay. I'll put that on my
Yeah.
TBR.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. I think
It's
it's
a
so good though to have the fun reads. Our brains
yeah,
work really hard sometimes, schooling our kids and reading those heavier things. And so I think it's good to have a good balance of all of those kind of things.
yeah,
I think having the stretching read going and the easier read feels really good. This has been a year where it's felt like some days was like if I read my Bible, that was like what I could do that day. So just to have grace, I guess too, in all of it. But I
yeah.
think the fun reads are valuable, just like we would want our kids to know that it's enjoyable.
Yeah, no, that's so good. That's so good. Rachel, anything you want to spill the beans on?
I'm like, what have I read? Probably, I mean, the things that I've read lately, I have a Dorothy Sayers and it's just a collection of stories. And so it's
Mm.
her Peter Whimsy short, and they're like
Oh,
super short. Um, or I'll also listen sometimes on Audible to PG, it's Woodhouse, right, Sarah?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
So good.
PG
Yeah.
Woodhouse. Something they were about to get married in a gorilla cage or something. Like it was just hilarious. Like it was just funny. They're funny
They're laugh
and
out loud funny for real. Yeah.
yeah, and silly. And so those are those are just some that I have like right now kind of out or on my phone as kind of like, okay, I don't really feel like, going too deep or having to think too hard. Like let's just
Yeah.
um
I
yeah.
really like a good cozy murder. Like I like Agatha Christie a lot. And if there's a British village involved, that's even better. So
Oh, that's great.
Cozy murder.
Yeah, they're engaging. It's like you read the first chapter and you're like, I'm hooked.
I gotta find out who did it.
Yeah. Yep. Might lose a little sleep over it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. So I'll ask this last I guess more serious question and then we'll wrap it up. But um who would you guys say this session is for at the conference? And um yeah, we'll just start with there. Like why do you feel like or who do you feel like this session is for? Like what if there's a mom that says, "Man, like you guys talking about books, like I can feel the love and excitement and I might not quite be there yet." Do you feel like that mom will walk away feeling like she'll get something valuable out of it? Sarah, I'll start with you. What are
I
your
think
thoughts?
so. I think it's for everybody, no matter where you are, what time you have in your life right now. Like just to see that books are fun and to catch a little excitement. I think everyone, with any age kids benefit.
Yeah, that's good.
I also think that it's good to see, especially how we're going to do it, where we have it, interactive, where it's not just going to be the panelists talking. It will be at some points, but we're also going to have the table share and have time to talk. So I think we're going to get a really good variety of people who, are at all levels of, being able to read at the moment. And so it's going to be, I think it'll be a great thing for anyone. Like I'm hoping that anyone could walk away and go, oh, I heard this one person say this and they were in a similar season, or, somebody at the opposite end, like what, has a ton of time to read and this is what they're doing with their time. Like, that's what I'm hoping, is that with all the voices, it won't just be the three of us talking about books. We're going to be having the tables talk about books and specific, giving specific topics, and then allowing, the different tables to share with the whole room. And so just really kind of stirring it up and getting a variety of opinions. And so I think that it will be for anyone who is interested.
Yeah. No, that's so good. So really, doesn't matter where, whether you love books or whether you want to love books or maybe you don't love books. Like you come, I feel like you're going to be inspired and you'll want to read something after it's all said and done. So awesome. Well, I'm so excited again for this session. I'm definitely gonna make sure I am in the room for part of it. So it's gonna be so good. And the great thing about all the sessions that's happening at the conference is, obviously when you're coming in person or even virtually, like you can only, participate in one session at a time. And we realize that that could be a hard choice. And so we're offering all the sessions will be available for recording with whatever ticket you purchase. So it'll be so great. If you want to sit in on a different class, but you still want to hear what was talked about at another session, you'll have access to all of it. So so excited for this session, so excited for the conference. We're like 80-ish days away. And so I want to encourage you, if you haven't already gotten your ticket, you can do so at charlottemasonenrichment.com/conference. And for listening to this episode, you can use the code podcast for a special discount. And that is all the time that we have for today. So thank you, ladies, again for just sharing your passion for this session and just for reading, and excited for what's to come. I want to remind us all that Charlotte encourages us to remember that the only true education is self-education. So we're never going to stop learning and we're never going to stop growing. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.